All right, what's up, familia? Welcome inside the hotel room. Hope you guys are doing good. Keep in between the lines. Got your loads secure. Hotel room, because I'm out here on the road trucking, doing my thing, man. I got a special guest right here. I am talking about one Mr. Johnny David. Johnny, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up? Good to be here.
Johnny, you know what, man? I came across your video through my beautiful crazy loca wife, man. She hits me up and she's all like, hey, have you ever heard of this guy? And I'm like, no. And she sends me a video of the iconic legendary song Try Me. And I'm like, okay, let me see, right? Let me see what's going on. Cause I think it's great that a lot of people are keeping some of these old school songs alive. That's my stuff, man. And I love that music.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great way to keep it alive, man. So I'm like, all right, let me see what this guy's got, because this is an iconic song, man. Johnny, boom. I was blown away with you, man. I was like, wow, this guy knocked it out the park, man. And I said, like, you know what? I gotta do a music review. I people need to know Johnny David, man. Johnny, and by the way, for anybody watching and listening, the link to that music video is in the comment section. It's pinned to the very first comment that you see. Johnny, let's talk a little bit about you first, man. Where'd you grow up? How did you get into singing? Talk to us, man.
Well, I grew up in Oxnard. I was born in Port Hueneme, 78, and they don't even have a hospital there anymore. That's it was, yeah, that hospital's gone. But anyway, I grew up in Oxnard. My dad grew up in Oxnard, and my dad, I got into music just because of my dad. You know, he played guitar, he sang, and he played at church, you know. And one day he just showed me a few guitar chords, and you know, I just kind of learned from there on my own. Like met some friends, you know, and who played music, and they would show me things, and then eventually he hands me a bass guitar. He comes into my room and he hands me a bass. He's like, here, I need a bass player at church. So I was like, all right, I guess that's what I'm gonna do now. So that's how I got into the bass, and you know, just over the years, just playing with him. My sister sings too. She would sing at church, and also just playing in like little garage bands with my friends, you know, and yeah,
Okay.
I just pretty much just grew up around music.
Did you grow up in church, man? Were you guys like a church going family?
Yeah, my parents were very involved, and so you know, they were there all the time, so that means I was there a lot, you know. And then
Okay.
a lot of my closest friends are from church. Some I've known since one of my best friends I've known since first grade, and you know, that's how we met. You know, when we were little, we just grew up together, and yeah, so
Right on, man. Right on. Okay, so how many siblings do you have? You're talking about your sister that she sings as well. Is it just you and her? Is there more?
there's three of us. I'm the oldest, then my sister, and then I have a younger brother.
Okay, all right. It's how about your mom? Is your mom around?
Yeah,
What's
my
going
mom
on?
and my dad, they're still together. After they retired, they moved away to Arizona, so they've been out
Mhm.
there for a few years. And my mom's not a musician, but she was always very supportive of my dad and of my music. You know, she still leaves comments and stuff. I have to tell her, "Hey, mom, I'm not 11." You know, like That's cool that you're proud of me, but you know, don't talk to me like I'm 10 years old.
You know what? There's something about moms being the number one fan. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's yeah. I appreciate my mom. I appreciate my parents, but I like to joke with them a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, man. So okay, so they take off to Arizona, man. You're still in you're still up in the 805?
Yeah, I live in Ventura now. That's where I'm
Okay.
at now.
Okay, all right, right on, man.
Close to
So, so you're singing in church or playing the instruments and things of that nature, man. When do you ever step away to do your own thing outside of church? I mean, when was the transition where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna try some other music as well outside of the
Well,
church?
I even like I said, when when I would jam with my friends and stuff when I was a kid, like I was always every Sunday I would help out my dad, but I also had like my little garage bands. I
Mhm.
play in a lot of I played in a lot of punk bands
Okay.
for years. Yeah, for like 20 years. That's all I did was just punk bands. And the, I I always had oldies and funk though, like in the background because of that's
Mm,
how I grew up. Like, even the
mm.
worship songs my dad would write are that style, so he would show me like Tower of Power
Oh
or
yeah.
the Shy Lights and Smokey Robinson. Like I always had that there. So coming back to it later, years later, when I got older, and it just kind of felt like full circle. It felt like kind of home in a way to come back to that.
Yeah, man, you just brought up Tower of Power and Smokey Robinson. Man, that's my stuff right there. I do want to say this, man. Some gospel music is some real good music. I don't think a lot of people give it a chance. I get it, especially if they're not, religious or anything like that. But no, man, I'm a church goer myself and a viewer myself, and there's some real good gospel music that I listen to, and I'm like, man, this is some good stuff, and not just because it's gospel, but also just the beats. They know what they're doing and quite a few songs. Some of my favorite songs are gospel music,
Yeah,
man. So
they're a lot of our heroes, that of the music you and I like, they started in church, the
mhm.
choirs and gospel, and my favorite singer, Sam Cooke, he's my favorite singer. And
Oh yeah,
same, he was a gospel singer back in the day. James Brown, they were that they grew up in that. And shoot, even probably I think like even Elvis was inspired by gospel music when he was a kid too.
yeah.
So a lot of us have our roots in that. And yeah.
So so okay, man. So you jam out with your buddies in the garage. You guys ever do gigs or anything like that? You guys ever get hired to play in the backyard or play for a party or anything like that nature?
Yeah, man, all the time, dude. I've been blessed to play all over the world because of
Really?
yeah, of like rock music and punk rock. I've been to Europe twice. I've been to Russia before.
Wow.
Um, a few in 2017, I went out to Russia and to play with this rock band. They needed a bass player, but out of my special request, they set me up two gigs in like these nice restaurants, and I played oldies over there in acoustic, just for people eating dinner and stuff. So I tell people, man, I played oldies in Siberia for people at in a restaurant.
Wow, man. Wow. Were you at the least bit nervous of going to Russia?
I was, I was. I
Okay.
mean, that was my first. I mean, I've been to Mexico before when I was little, but that was my first time like overseas, And I was more excited than I was nervous. But I mean that, and also that was definitely before all these problems that we're having,
Right,
now. But
right,
so
right. How
so
did
it-
that come about? How did you get an invitation to go to Russia?
well, a contact of mine, he was a promoter that used to promote punk shows years ago. Him and I sort of just kept in touch, would say what's up every once in a while. And he was going back and forth to Russia often. And he was actually like dating a woman from over there.
Mm,
And he took a band out there a long time ago, and he wanted to do it again. So he asked me if I would be interested. And I'm like, yeah, man, look, what do I got to do? So like he showed me how to get my passport and all that. And
mm.
we went over there for like 9 days. We were in Russia.
Okay. Okay. Was it quite the experience, man?
Yeah, it was cool. They were really nice. We went to we went to Siberia, and then we went the city called Krasnoyarsk in Siberia, and then we were there for half the time, and the other half we were in St. Petersburg, and both cities were way different from each other. Like Siberia, to people in St. Petersburg, Siberia is like Hicksville. You know what I mean? Like it's just out in the middle of nowhere. And then to people in St. Petersburg, they're seen as like the more like city snobs, you know.
Okay.
But I like both, you know, people, especially the people in Siberia, they're very curious about Americans, you know, because we don't, especially people going out there to play music, they're like, what are you guys doing here of all places, you know?
Yeah.
But they're really friendly, you know, and it was nice to do, you know, the rock thing, but also the oldies thing, you know.
Nice, man. Nice. And did they dig the music? Did they like what you were playing out there?
Yeah, they did, man. I met a lot of cool
Nice.
people and made a lot of friends that sometimes some of them I still talk to, you know, online.
Man, Johnny, that is badass, man. I gotta tell you, that's just an interesting story right there. We could go. I will have so many questions for you just
Yeah.
on that right there alone, man. But before we got started, I said something tripped me out, man, about that music video that you did. Try me. I was
Uh-huh.
watching it. I was like, okay, hang on a second. You know, when people play instruments, right? You think about the guitar, maybe the saxophone, even the piano, right?
Hmm.
But Johnny, you're right there jamming out with a cello. Right? How I don't know anybody that knows how to play the cello. I think most people that I know probably don't even know what a
Yeah.
cello is, man.
Well,
How do you come up, man? How'd you end up
well,
playing the cello?
technically it's not a cello. A cello's a little
Okay.
smaller than that. That's a double bass. That's a double bass, or the people call it a stand-up bass, you know, but a cello's smaller than that. As far as
Okay.
how I got into that, well, I had been playing bass for a long time already, electric bass. And I started I started hearing this music called rockabilly, and they use that bass in that music, like Johnny Cash style, Elvis style music, you know.
Mhm.
And then I met a guy, one of my friends I made, many friends I made over the years. He played guitar, and he wanted a bass player who knew how to play that instrument. And I had been wanting to learn, so I bought like a cheap one on Craigslist for like $300 just to sort of see if I would take to it. I started getting better and better, and then I bought a nicer one, and I just started, you know, incorporated it into my playing, and kind of just it's just part of who I am now, you know.
Hey, brother, it works, man, because that stood out to me. You know, I'm like, man, you see, I don't really know instruments like that, so I'm thinking this guy's playing the cello, but you're saying
Yeah,
it's a
not a
bass.
lot of people think it's a cello, but yeah, cellos are smaller than that.
Okay, okay, but I see you there and you're just rocking with it, man. And I'm like, man, this is badass, man. This is awesome, man. So how did you come about, man? So you said, you know, you've been doing music for a long time. You even went to Russia to do some music. How did it come about for you to make this music video and where you're at now? Because you know, before then, I didn't know. I never heard of Johnny David, man. Like I
Yeah.
said, my beautiful crazy local wife says, "Hey, have you heard of this guy?" Boom, here's this Johnny David, and I'm like, "Ooh, okay, I don't know where this guy came from. I didn't know any of his career. So how is it that you made that leap, that step forward, man? Where now you did this song, "Try Me."
Well, a couple years ago, I've been playing with this band lately. We're called Like the Morning, and we started, I think, in 2018, and we were just writing original songs, like not necessarily, we weren't trying to fit into any kind of style. We were just writing instrumental music, real like vibey, crazy stuff. And I have a cousin who's getting really popular doing soldies. His name's Coda the Barber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my primo, and our moms are sisters. So he asked me one time, he was like, "Hey, do you think your band could learn these oldies, because I want to have a backup band sometimes instead of just playing solo all the time, you know?"
Mhm.
I was like, "Yeah, dude, hell yeah. Those songs are easy. We could do it." And so we started backing them up. And at the time, like the morning, we had our original music, but we were also doing a couple of oldies too, just so we could have like enough songs to fill out enough time to play shows. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have enough original music to play a full show, but I'm like, well, let's do a few oldies. Everybody likes them, and it'll fill in some time. And then so the more we got into it with Coda, and I was doing backup vocals and stuff. I met I met people through that. Through I met Mariah Avila, and I met and she told me, or she told her team over at Industry Music about me. And at the time, like, I wasn't really ready to do anything on my own. I was just like, nah, no thanks, I'm cool just backing up my cousin right now.
Mhm.
And I did a music video with Mariah for her song "You Never Loved Me at All." I don't know if you've seen that one, but
I I have. What are you singing in it
no,
or?
no. I'm like the guy in the video that broke her heart or
Oh,
whatever.
that's, oh man.
Yeah,
You know what? I'm up on game on Mariah Avila, man. I dig her stuff, man.
yeah,
Coda the Barber as well. I like a lot of his music. Okay, so that's you in the car. Okay, got
yeah. We
you.
were fighting in the car.
Yeah.
Funny side story, right? After we filmed that part,
Uh-huh.
I had never met, her mom. I barely knew Mariah a little bit back then.
Mhm.
And that was like when I first met Cazelle and all those guys. Her mom comes up to me after we filmed that. She goes, "Oh man, that was great. Are you an actor?" I was like, "Nah, I just been in a lot of arguments. I know I can make it work."
It
But
just comes naturally.
yeah, but yeah, and
So
in her, I
let
don't know
me
if
ask you
you're,
this. Let me
yeah.
ask you this before you go on, man. I don't mean to cut you off, but you were hesitant. You said, I'm kind of cool just being backup. Like, why was that? Did you not want to go off and do stuff on your own? What made you just, were you just content? Like, I'm good where I'm at. Like, what was it?
I was in the middle of a process right at that time.
Okay.
See, about I don't know, 8, 9 years ago, when I decided I was just done with doing punk rock and I wanted to try new things. And I remember meeting up with a buddy of mine who I was recording at his house, just acoustic music. And back then I was like, I wanted to sound old, like oldie style, but I didn't have a frame of reference. Like nobody that I knew of yet was doing this thing back then. Like like so I didn't know how to explain to him what I meant, you know? Like I just wanted to sound old. But and then some years go by, and then I heard Leon Bridges, this artist named Leon Bridges, and he plays that style. I'm like, that's what I was talking about. Like man, I wish I could have explained it back then. I could have got into it. But coming out of punk rock, something I did for so long, and trying to find something new, it was, on one hand it was new and exciting, but on the other hand it was kind of stressful for me, because it was just like I felt like I didn't have a voice anymore, and I was trying to find myself musically, and it would stress me out when I felt like I didn't do a good enough job at a show, and I would just be really hard on myself. And after a while, I come to the conclusion, like, you know what, just you got to just let go, stop trying to be famous, and enjoy it and just have fun. So fast forward to when I started playing with my cousin, that was right around when I was starting to just like feel my music and not care about making it. And I just wanted to have fun, and I wasn't stressing about it anymore. So when I was fast forward again to when I was offered from DJ Cazell to do a project, I started feeling those same kind of stress feelings again, you know, like, oh man, like I'm gonna be hard on myself, and I'm gonna be too self-critical, and I just need to let, you know, I told him, I'm like, no, you know, not right now. I'm not ready for that right now. I appreciated the offer. They offered me something because in I don't know if you remember Mariah's video, I was playing the guitar and singing to her like she was reminiscing. So
Right.
during that part, I was actually singing for her. So it, you know, it looks more real in the video.
Mhm.
And I was doing sincerely. I was doing that song sincerely for her. And
Yes.
yeah, and so after we shot that part, like he's like, "Oh man, come on, let's do something. You got a great voice." And I was just like, "No, I'm not right now." And then yeah, I just at that point I just wanted to back up my cousin. I wanted my, you know, make sure my band was tight for him, and that was my main priority at the time. But a few years go by, a couple years go by, and I just decided, because they always told me the door's open for you if you want to do a project with us. They've always been really cool with me, industry music. And I started thinking about, I'm like, you know what, I think I'm ready now. Like I'm not getting any younger and not everybody gets a chance to do this. So I decided to go for it, you know.
Okay. All right. And like at that time, right? Where you just said, "Hey, I just decided to go for it, man." And you know, they said, "Hey, we'll always, you know, the door is always open." Were you like, "Okay, you know what? I got a vision on what I want to do," or were you just like, "You know what? I'm just gonna go and see what the punches are and just kind of roll with it."
Yeah, I was kind of just open to see what they had to say. And when we finally had the phone call, like the meeting on what we were going to actually plan on doing, that's when we started. See, originally it wasn't to sign a deal, like a long-term deal. It was just a two-song project. That was it.
Okay.
So two songs recorded, two music videos, and two vinyls. And
Mhm.
I gave them a list of a few oldies that I felt that I liked, that I could do the best. And Try Me was one of them, and Sincerely was the other one. And those are the two that they picked for me to go ahead with.
Why try me? I mean, that's a legendary song, man. Everybody knows the song, whether they listen to it today or they haven't listened to it in many, many years. Try me, you know, everybody knows the song. Why that song?
Well, that's one of the big reasons. It's a legendary song, and I've always loved that song. I would cover it when I would play my solo acoustic shows, and you know, and people loved it. Um, I'll tell you what though, man, after it was all said and done and I was like ready to record it, I started getting in my head, you know, I was like, man, this is James Brown, man. What are you doing? You know, I started getting in my head, and I talked to the producer. His name's Tony G,
Okay.
and he gave me some really good advice about it. And after I talked to him, like I knew exactly what I had to do, you know,
Mm.
to kind of get out of my head, make it my own. And you know, I'm really happy with the way it came out. And I was like, I gotta have my upright bass. That's my thing, you know, and especially in the music video, I want people to see me with my upright bass.
Yeah, that's I mean, that stands out big time, man. You know, I saw that, and that's one of the things that really stood out. So like I said, for anybody watching, the link is in the comment section. You guys can go check it out. That's the first video I seen. So David, what are you working on now, and where do you want this to go, man? Because that's a badass video, my man. Where do you go from now?
Well, from here, I'm pretty sure the next project, the next video we're gonna do is for Sincerely, for the other song that I have released, and I have some ideas that I want to do for that. Um, I have another original song recorded that's like, you know, in the bullpen, waiting for a video and gonna be released someday. And then yesterday, my band went out to Industry Music Studios and we recorded another song that's complete. And so right now, like what I'm doing is just trying to provide them with as much music as I can to kind of get ahead of the game. And then as far as my releases go, other than that, I'm just, you know, having them book me some shows, trying to get my name out there. You know, people don't really know who I am as of yet, and we're just, you know, working on promotion and stuff, and getting some good shows and making new connections and growing my fan base and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. Have you done any shows with any artists or anything like that, man, that are out there already?
Yeah, well, on top of the shows I've done with my cousin,
Mhm.
I've done a couple weeks ago I opened up for Brenton Wood and Trish Toledo, Mariah Avila, and Joey Quinones. They were all there at Steven's Steakhouse a couple weeks ago. I've opened up for Pepe Marquez a couple of times. We did a show in San Diego in Barrio Logan last weekend, and my cousin Coda was also there. It was all three of us. That was tight. And yeah, I've just done like little promotional things here and there. But yeah, they got some plans for me, so there's some stuff cooking in the oven as far as that goes.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Right on. So, you're working on this music sincerely and stuff like that. Anything that you're gonna be writing on your own, man? Anything I always love, these soldies and these remakes where you put your own flavor to it and things of that nature, man. Anything you got working on that's gonna be your song?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of the songs that I recently finished, it's an original song. They sent me a track of music, the Soldies style music, and I wrote my own lyrics to it. And I went to the studio and knocked out all the vocals. And then I have a couple of original songs that I wrote from scratch that I'm hoping to get done soon in the near future too.
Okay. All right, cool, man. You know what, Johnny? I'm telling you, man. I dig your stilo, big dog. When I saw your music video and everything, I was like, man, this guy's got a future, man. So I really hope I'm rooting for you, man. Hopefully I see you at a show one day. But with that, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna ask you this. What's your favorite type of meat in a taco?
Me, I always get asada, man. I just get asada all the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right. For me, it's a little different, man. My favorite meat in a taco is either cabeza or carnitas, but just in a taco, I wouldn't have a burrito with that same meat, man. It's
Yeah, it's different.
yeah, different meats, man. But Johnny, my man, where can they find you at, man? Let the people know where can they find you.
Yeah, on Instagram, it's Johnny David Music. Same thing on TikTok. I'm newer to TikTok. I mean, I didn't want to go over there, but that's where everybody's at, so I had to go. But Johnny David Music on both Instagram and TikTok. And if you're on Facebook, it's Johnny David 805.
There you go, man. And with that, familia, we'll call it there. I'll try to have this gentleman back. As always, live your life like you're on the road. Be aware of your surroundings and always keep it safe. This is blood makes you little, but loyalty makes you family. Until next time, this is the Thecholotrucker. For one, Mr. Johnny David.
What up? Thank you.
Over and now.